Hey guys, cheers. It's me once again. And a while back somebody asked me to do a little demo on how I sharpen my knives. And I guess I'll go ahead and do that now since I've got this knife here that could use a little tender loving care. This is the knife I got from Misty Shooter, a mountain man. And I have really enjoyed this knife. It has proven itself to be a really nice fishing knife. And I've cut probably about 30 fish with it, and I only so far have just touched it up on my fine diamond stone, and that worked out great for, you know, out in nature, as it were. And now I figured I'd put a more polished edge on it. And what I'm going to do is use I just keep one of, it's like one of those stretchy bands from inside of a couch. I took apart a couch and I used all the parts for other stuff. So I just keep my stone in that so I don't chip the sides or anything. And this isn't the finest quality stone, but it works pretty good. So I'm going to use this because I can't find my really high quality one right now. So I've got some, God, this is probably like 30 years old. It's buck honing oil. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. This knife is not in the worst shape, so I'm not going to hit it with the rough side. I'm just going to use the fine side. So a little bit of oil. And then what I do is I just come at it at a 20 degree. And after you've sharpened knives for a while, your hand kind of, in relation to your other hand, you kind of develop a sense of what the right angle is. So I just do a few passes. If this knife were in horrible condition, what I usually do is I start out with 12 passes one way, 12 another on the rough side, 12 another, then I'll do 11, then 11, and then 10, and working my way down to 1. And by then, usually on the rough, you know, you could take something that's like butter knife down to razor blade. So just a couple of passes, I think, will be pretty good to get this blade back in shape. You can see how where the oil is. It's starting to collect a little bit of sediment or whatnot. So it's working. Yeah, that's pretty good. A few more. It didn't need much, like I said. It was pretty sharp. I just tried cutting some cardboard for the fireplace, and I noticed it wasn't as sharp as when I got it. It's definitely sharp enough to cut a fish head off, but definitely not for fine stuff. Wow, I just had that feeling like in the movie Jaws where that guy scratches his nails on the fingerboard. I just got chills. I can feel it in my legs. That was weird. Probably because the breeze just picked up behind me. Alright, so just a couple passes on that is enough to get, oh yeah. So if I were to take this and look at it with a magnifying glass, you'd see the little ridges, kind of like the microscopic serrated knife look. And what I'm going to do is just bring that down a little more on the diamond honer. Put a little of this buck oil on there. There we go. And for this one, it takes a while to get the feel of this one. It's totally different than a stone. But once you get your angles down right, and the pressure counts for a lot too. Once you figure that out, you could do it a lot easier. Just takes time and practice, really. Alright, so I'm not going to do too much honing because it didn't really need it. And then sometimes if it's a certain type of blade that I'm going to use for picking at stuff, I'll do it this way on the tip. But for this blade, I'm not going to do that because I don't want the tip to be super sharp. Because I'm going to use this knife a lot for woodworking, so when I'm doing woodworking, sometimes it'll jump out of a hard knot, and I don't want to have it so sharp that, you know, just a light jab is going to poke me and cause me to bleed. So here I have a little ceramic honer, so I'm just going to do a couple passes on there, just like in the kitchen. Oh yeah, that feels wonderful. And one thing I've learned over time is that if a knife feels sharp, it ain't. If you run your, like, you know how your thumb has ridges, right? Your fingerprint. when you rub it over, those little ridges, you could feel the blade. But if you get it to where it's like razor blade and you do that, you hardly feel anything. And that's when it's truly sharp. Truly sharp knife, you can tell when you cut something. And the best thing in the world to cut, to prove a knife is sharp, is a tomato. In most fancy kitchens, that's what chefs sit around doing when, when they don't have orders coming in. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you. That's a piece of leather from the old couch, and what I'm going to do now is I clamped it down to the table, and basically that's a little strop now that I can just run, and that's what really gets the last divots out. And what some people do is on soft wood, they'll just straighten it out with just one light pass like that, and then if you hold this so it's more angled, yeah, there we go. I just cut this out of that leather, so it'll take a while for it to get really surface prepared. So anyway, that's it. This knife is sharp as can be right now. I don't have a tomato, but I guarantee it would cut beautifully. Anyway, thanks again, Misty and Mountain Man, for this awesome knife, and that's how I sharpen them. Hope you're well. Bye.